in this part, we're going to talk about how to design double glazed panels for curtain wall. Well, at first, we're going to have to go to the File, New, Family. There is the list templates of family. Select curtain wall family. Just like designing the doors of curtain wall, when we enter elevations, we see some default reference planes which clarify the zone of the panel. This is the center line. We have nothing to do with it, nothing much. Now we want to make double glazed. So extrusion. We draw it in the zone of the panel and lock it, and a finish. Then I go to the plan. For now, we've got nothing to do with the thickness. It's double glazed, so I select this, copy, and I drag it up. But if you see it doesn't come, it's because of the constraint. I inactivate it and I place it here. But in this step, we want to make the distance between these two panels parametric. What you might think of, probably, which is not wrong, is to go to this part. And for example, the distance from here to here is that much. And you probably know well enough that you need to use EQ here too. So that when we change the size, the panels change their size inside, actually, change the dimensions inside. But there's a point. When you have an object whose sketch is finished, right? This is an object which is complete. When you have an object whose sketch is finished and you want to make the distance to another object or another reference plane parametric, you'd better do what I'm going to say to you. And don't connect a dimension to it directly. This is the advice you might get from many pros. When you want to make the distance from an object to another object or another reference plane parametric, never connect a dimension to it directly. So draw another and extra reference plane, right? This is it. So I've got a reference plane right here now, which represents actually the upper panel, and this one represents the lower panel, right? Reference planes represent the panels, represents objects. This is for the upper one, this is for the lower one. So let's become parametric, they say. So the distance from the distance here, and obviously EQ. I'll select this, and for example, distance between, right? And this is distance between, which is about, for example, 12 meters. You see that? Now we want to connect the panel to this. So a line, just like you see, the thickness changes. Now let's make the thickness parametric too. Now you might also think of making the thickness parametric, like for example picking a size, as like for example measuring the distance like that, but it's not professional. I say that never connect a dimension to an object directly. Again, draw a reference plane. Now this reference plane says that I represent the other side of the panel, right? So actually when you want to draw an object or move them, at first we need to connect them to a reference plane and then make them parametric, right? You see that? I connected to this part, and now this represents the other side of the panel. You see that? This side, this side. Now this one becomes parametric too. Let me make it smaller. This is now thickness. Alright, so as a review, let's do the one below. Now, this part connects to the representative of it. For the upper side, we draw it at first, you remember, and I connect this to the representative of it. Now, for making it parametric, these two become parametric together. Now, for making it organized, connect this to this one. And obviously, this has thickness too. All right. The dimensions are checked. For example, thickness would be 1 centimeter. Distance between would have to be, for example, 12. Let's see it in 3D. See that? Let's fix the materials too. Now let's make it parametric too. Panel. Now, let's also place a plastic strap between these two, right? The plastic strap between these two obviously must change the size when the distance between these two changes. So for doing that, click sweep, and this time use pick path. Why? Because all the way of your distance is at the edge of the panels. So why do we need to draw a path? Well, there's no need. Just pick path and click on the edge of these. And the good thing is that when the panel changes, this will change too, the distance. It doesn't matter which one. Finish. Select profile, edit profile. In one of the views, one of the elevations, and this is the plastic strap. Now you need to just lock it. And well, basically, if the distance between these two changes, you see, if the distance changes, that will be updated too. Let's try it out. Distance between, let's, for example, change it to 25. You see that? Let's see 60, big number. That one is changing too with it. Thickness, 2. Thickness would be, for example, 4. All the parameters are working properly. Let's give it a reasonable number, 12 and 8, for example. But it's better to have a number here, right? The total number of the thickness of the glass and the distance between them. So measure this distance. What we don't want this to be a parameter so that we can change it. We just want a report. We just want the report of the total thickness of this panel. Right, so I select it. You see this part, instance reporting parameter, which means we don't want to change it. We just want a report. We just want it to report us the total thickness. All right. Now, can you say how useful it is for managing the gap in profile? I save it as panel 2S. Then we can fix the emollients. Let's see it in plan. You remember this, we actually designed it together. I changed the mullions. Mullion I. Well, this is the profile I just designed here. The gap is not enough. It's not big enough. Now the total, actually without calculation, we can see the total thickness is 2.8 without calculating. Now, let's update this mullion based on this thickness. What was the name of it? Name of this profile? We don't know. What was the name of the mullion? We don't know, for example. I selected. Then you can see the name mullion I. What about the profile? Profile I again. Let's see the let's find the profile in the list. We don't remember where we saved it. But how do I find it? Should I look for it in annotations? No, because the annotation was related to planning. You need to go to profile. What was the name? Profile I. Right click, edit. Well, we can simply edit this. The distance between them is 15. We wanted it to be 28. And we can also make this parametric. If you agree, we can make it. Aligned from here to here. EQ. Also this side. We can also draw a reference plane. EQ. And this one, I wanted it to be the same total thickness. You don't need to worry about coming here anymore. Then I'll load it into project and override. Now check this out. This just has one type here. Or you can go to this part and open a new part and create a new type. Here you can change this total thickness to 28, right? Now, when you open it, you see that it has just one type. It's called profile. When you right click on its name and then click new type, the new type will have to be profile I with total 28. When you double click, you can change this and make it 28 and okay. So we have a profile, we have duplicated a profile in the heart of the profile we had. Now select this and I go to the edit and select the profile I just designed, right? I did because I didn't want to keep going to family. I wanted it to be here. See that? Now, let's use the parameters a bit. Let's edit them. For example, the distance between them, the thickness of the glasses and all that. So we go to plan, tab and select this panel, go to edit type. Well, now we've made these parametrics. Panel has been given material which can be changed easily. Now, for example, the distance between them is 12. Let me change it to 10. The thickness, I will change it to 5, for example. And then I apply it. Well, now what should happen? The mullion should also be updated with this. Now, that parameters, that report helps us not to calculate. Now the total is 20. Now we need a new profile with 20, with a gap as 20. Now the name of the profile was profile I. We found it through this list in profile I. I also said that now it has got two models, two types. We need another one, another type. So new type, after right clicking, do mention the size, the dimension in the name of it. Then double click. Now the name is just 20. It's not really 20. Now I need to change it. Well, this new profile that was just designed should be related to that mullion. You see that? You select it, you go to the mullion, you select it. If you hadn't done this with the parametrics and all that, when we were making this parametric, well, we learned not to keep designing and loading. We learned that we can use this list by duplicating and creating new dimensions. This can be very useful and very professional. If you use this style in a company or something, they will understand that you're familiar with the parameters and you're performing professionally. I also said that for changing the materials, you can tab and change them through this part. I didn't make that plastic parametric. In this way, you can design double glazed panels. Practice this part perfectly well because they will help you learn these because they're professional.